Have you ever picked up your whole life and moved to a new country? It's an exciting and daunting experience full of new discoveries and challenges. I recently celebrated my 1 year anniversary of moving from the hustle and bustle of Washington, D.C. to the beautiful island of Mauritius. Today, I want to share with you the top 5 lessons that I have learned after moving to this popular tropical destination. But before that, welcome. My name is Sierra, and I am an American expat currently living on the island of Mauritius. Here on my channel, I talk about life as an expat living in Mauritius, and I also discuss other expat related topics as well. For today, I am going to discuss 5 lessons that I learned after making the move abroad. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so number 1 on today's list is embrace the unknown. Now, initially, I wasn't afraid about moving to Mauritius because I have been traveling since the age of 17. However, this move to Mauritius was going to require me to become a full-time freelancer for the first time in my life, and that did make me a little bit nervous. Or like many millennials, I just found myself really fed up with corporate America and finally decided to bank on myself. It took around 8 months to a year. I was freelancing on the side while working a full-time job, and I was able to keep sane because I had a departure date in mind. Now, as a full-time freelancer, I have so much flexibility in my schedule, and I can travel all around this beautiful island while filming and documenting and sharing all of my findings with you. All right, and number 2 on today's list is embrace the culture. Prior to moving to Mauritius, I had spent some time living abroad in some homogeneous societies where diversity wasn't very common, and I felt like through those experiences that it didn't really work out for me that well. That's why I chose Mauritius. I knew that diversity was more abundant here, and to be honest, it's very much like a melting pot here, and it kind of reminds me of the metropolitan area where I'm originally from. From my perspective, Mauritius offers many cultural immersion experiences, and it's a place where many people from different walks of life can visit and blend in. So whether you're watching an exciting Sega dance performance, climbing the UNESCO and heritage site known as Le Morne, or learning about its history, taking a tour of Aparasi Ghat, or walking through the busy streets of Chinatown, Mauritius has so much to offer in terms of culture and history. Okay, so number 3 on today's list is step out of your comfort zone. I experienced stepping out of my comfort zone when I used to live in the touristic area of the island known as Grand Bay, and I relocated to where I'm now living, which is more in the center of the island. Basically, I was trading in the sea for the mountains and arriving in an area that was filled with more locals and less of the touristic attractions that most think of when they travel to Mauritius. Naturally, I'm definitely more of an introverted person, so this move required me to have to make stronger ties with the locals, which is something to keep in mind if you're ever thinking about living in a touristic area or a place that has more of a local vibe when you move abroad. Collectively, relocating within Mauritius opened up a whole new chapter of adventure, personal growth, and new experiences. Number 4 on today's list of lessons is definitely adaptability is key. One of the biggest challenges that I have experienced while living in Mauritius would certainly be experiencing cyclones for the first time in my life. Cyclone season typically lasts from November to April here on the Isle. The first cyclone that I experienced was Cyclone Bilal in January of this year. I just remember being in my apartment and looking outside of the balcony up at the sky. And I remember the clouds moving very quickly. And at times it was almost like they were moving in a twister like formation. I could also hear a lot of heavy objects flying outside and crashing into things. Living through this experience was definitely humbling. I think that it built resilience in me. I watched as many people lost their homes. Some people, unfortunately, lost their lives. And it just really put things into perspective when we think about expat life and how a lot of it is glamorized. But we don't often talk about the dangerous aspects of it, and also how you plan for the unthinkable. My advice would be to anyone that is thinking about moving abroad to do your research and then research again. But definitely always try to prepare for the unknown. Okay, so the last lesson on today's list is number 5, which is embrace the beauty of the moment. Mauritius and beauty are two words that are very synonymous with each other. There really is no limit to the amount of natural beauty that you can find all around here. As an American, I definitely love my convenience. And I definitely have been guilty of sometimes rushing through the moment and forgetting to sometimes just be present. Can you think of a few times that you flew through an experience because you were so focused on reaching a goal, only to find yourself later reflective, wishing you had stopped to smell the roses? These days, I find gratitude in watching the horizon and mountain view from my balcony. I see beauty in the unique and exotic finds from the local market, putting my feet in white sand and warm turquoise waters, and reflecting on how all of this was once only a dream. Okay, so I hope sharing the 5 lessons that I learned after moving to Mauritius was insightful. Hopefully, these lessons could be useful for your personal growth, or maybe you've been thinking about life abroad and maybe even you're preparing to take that leap and start expat life yourself. All right, you guys, let's keep this good thing going. So if you recently made the leap, then please sound off in the comments below and tell me about any life lesson that expat life has brought you on your journey. As always, thank you so much for watching. Ciao.